Going live on the YouTube, live on Facebook. Wait, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. We are going live in 1 minute, 30 seconds, 30 seconds before we start the radio show. 30 seconds.
It's not a radio show.
Good morning, everybody. Facebook people, get on early. The beach is beautiful today. Look who's back. 20 seconds, 20 seconds. What?
We have to tell them about the accident, though.
This is going to be recorded. Nobody's going to be listening tomorrow, and you're going to say there's an accident, and then there's not going to be an accident. So
well,
I don't think you need to bring the accident up.
If people are listening to something recorded, they'll know.
Well, they don't know what they're listening to. 10 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2.
The Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
And a good morning, everybody. Welcome to Beach Talk Radio for episode number 67. Ed Ryan along with the wife is back. The Kimberly is back. And we have so much to talk about today. We want to say hello to everybody listening on the Florida Podcast Network. We want to say hello to everyone watching on YouTube, watching on the Facebook. We want to say hello to everybody listening in Radio Land and everybody that's our sponsor, including FMB Designs and Remodeling. Hello to Nikki and her pretend husband Ed out there somewhere. And we want to remind everybody to get our free newsletter by going to beachtalkradio.com. I also have the link right now in the chat box, so you can click on that. And we had 2 newsletters out so far, and it comes out every Thursday, so you can click on that. And feel free to also contribute $2 or $5 or $0 a month to support the show. Passing the hat. So,
I love the intro.
You do with Gene?
I do. That you did a great job.
Thank you. I actually had a special intro, and she's going to kill me, that was scheduled for this morning, and I sent myself the file, and it was the wrong file, so I have to save it for next week. I'm not going to say who it is, so I'm going to save it for next week. It's not Mike Tyson. It's somebody else. Well, I said she. It's not.
I didn't hear that.
Not Mike Tyson. So we had breaking news yesterday. Big breaking news. We have a special guest today. I cannot forget our guest. Our guest, Bob.
Yes,
is it Bob? I've completely forgotten who we have on at 9:30. Bob is coming on from Rink to Reef, and we're going to talk about that really cool program that they do with the hockey sticks, and they take the broken hockey sticks and they make reefs out of them. So we're going to talk to Bob around 9:30. John Lucky Luciano Lalo is here. We're going to talk to him for a little bit, and of course we have tons of vacation news that you're going to tell us about. Is there any teaser you want to share before we get into the breaking news from yesterday?
Well, there's the Lost story, and then the dinosaur bug story are a couple.
Okay,
of my favorites.
You don't want to tell one story now and give them a teaser for later, or should we get right into the breaking news? It's completely up to you, wife.
No, we can get right into the breaking news.
All right, I'm going to see if I could play this. What we're going to do, folks, is if you have not seen the video yesterday, there was a video. I don't know who shot the video that was taken of the owner of the Lani Kai over by the cottage. Apparently, he was not happy with something that went on over at the cottage, and he went over there and he let it be known that he was not happy with that. So if you haven't heard the video yet, I'm not really sure if I can play it. I'm going to try and play it. What did you think of the video when you saw it? What was your first impression?
I had to listen. I watched, but I had to listen a couple of times to hear what was being said. And it sounded like he was upset about that business having their, like it was a property line dispute. Yeah. At one point, I think what he was doing to prove his point was he was walking it out and then saying, this is not 30 feet, as if it's that easy to measure, just sort of, walking it out. And he was really, really upset.
Yeah.
And,
All right.
it was inappropriate.
If you
behavior.
didn't hear the video, we're going to try and play it now so you can listen to the audio, especially on the radio show. You can listen to the audio. And then, if you have any comments or questions, you can type them into the chat box on Facebook or YouTube. But by the way, if you have any kids close to the radio, you're going to want to move them away if we get to play this. So let's see.
Exactly what I
let's
was gonna
see
say.
if you can to this. We're going to try and here we go. Is it playing? I don't think we can hear it. Can you hear it?
It's playing, but you're not
Oh,
getting
you
any
can't
audio.
get any audio. So let's see if we can adjust the audio here. This is live radio on the fly.
I will give, the
Oh yeah, big time
gentleman
credit.
from the cottage, I believe, and his wife got on and was talking about how her dad used to own that place. He handled himself so professionally,
Right.
in the face of some really ugliness being spewed at him. So kudos to him. And there was another gentleman who was really trying to diffuse the situation and, talk to Mr. Conadaris and talk him down so that he didn't get in any trouble. But it was a shame.
Well,
It really was a shame.
what happened was yesterday, I was getting ready to go to sleep at 8:00 and my phone, it shows you the difference in a year. Like next month, in 2 weeks, we're going to be on for a year. Like it'll be
Phew.
1 year of doing the show every Saturday. I think we missed two
Too
because we
much
were
for
at
you.
we're at different events, but we haven't missed a Saturday, including last week. When you were on vacation, we all met in Nashville, but it'll be a year. It shows you the difference. Like, remember when the Bobak Gore tapes came out? It was
Mhm.
like such a struggle for me because I didn't know as many people to
Right.
get those tapes and to convince people to send them. Last night, they were getting sent to us like left and right. I got 5 different text messages and private
So-
messages of the video, and I was trying to go to sleep, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. I didn't know who it was. I've never met
You
the
were
guy.
in bed. I had shut down your little work area because you left the lights on and the computer on. And I watching a show, and all of a sudden, besides the phone going off, I hear you scurrying like a squirrel
Right.
inside the house.
I know. I get
turning everything on, and
I get goofy with stuff like this because I get giddy because it's like I can't believe that just happened. It's like, no, that's not who I think it is, or I never met the guy, so I was wondering who it was, and then it got straightened out right away who it was, and I'm still dumbfounded by the fact that when Tom Torgerson was on, he was under the impression, or kind of got the impression from their meeting, that perhaps Mr. Conadaris was getting on in years and having issues. And when you watch that video, I don't read it that way. I
No.
read it as an angry man, like,
Yeah.
this is my beach, and F you, literally F you, if
He
you
said-
think that you're gonna get in my way. Now let me see if we got any sound here. Oh, no sound here
I
either.
didn't
Man.
get
Getting
that
gypped on
he
the sound,
was
people.
that he was in any way incapacitated mentally. He was just very angry, and there was a certain sense of entitlement to the beach area,
Right.
whether it's his or not, I don't know, but he felt it was.
Oh, you know what
So-
happened? I turned the microphone down. So let's see if we get it now. So,
Oh, for the love of
all right,
Pete.
I'm an amateur when it comes to all this stuff. It all happened at the last minute here. And I don't, I think we've had 1,500 views when I last looked at it, but let's see if you can hear it now. Here you go. Did you hear that?
I need you to leave our property, please.
Gulf Shore Grill.
Yeah, this is my property.
It's my property.
You're able to sell liquor on the beach.
I'm the only one able to sell liquor on the
I'm
beach.
asking you nicely. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, that's enough audio for today. Well, I mean, that's a shame. And the first thing I thought was, am I getting too loud for you? Sorry, you can take the headphones out if you want. The first thing
if I
I
want
thought,
to preserve my hearing, I will.
okay, it's so nice to have you back.
Ugh.
So the first thing I thought was legacy kill right there. I mean, that video, I mean, you
I
can't,
don't
can you
think
recover
so.
from that?
Absolutely.
You think you can recover from that
I
video?
don't recover to what? Recover what?
I mean, people are always going to remember that video because it's never going to stop being passed around on this beach. I mean, the beach community is so small, and people are already so angry at what he's done to stunt the growth on the island. I just think that.
So I don't have any context because I don't live here, but from what people have said to me, this is not surprising to them. It's not surprising behavior. So I recover. I think it's modus operandi.
All right.
I mean, that is the impression I have been given.
Okay. Well, interesting. So I wonder if there's a way
that means
you're trying
not
to, you're
interesting.
You're always trying to ride the fence on things, and I think there's no fence on this one.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think there's any fence, but you're not going to throw.
Here's the sad thing. If something's going on with his mind that causes him to do that, neither do I. But let's just, for the benefit of the doubt, for the argument, say that there's something going on there where maybe he's not really the way he used to be. I know, but I'm trying to make a point, woman. Listen, if there's something to that, then why not the family or friends? I mean, apparently he has family and friends, right? Why not somebody intervene there and help out?
That's what I'm saying. The guy that was standing next to him, I think he had a red shirt on.
He had know what? That guy had no cojones.
He was trying. Well,
he wasn't really trying very hard.
It was one of his employees, and he was tactfully trying to diffuse the situation. You don't diffuse a situation by yelling at the person who's already yelling and inflamed. You stay calm. You keep your voice low.
Well, he was trying to keep his voice low because he didn't want to be on the video. He saw the guy that was recording the video, or the lady, whoever it was recording the video that's gone.
Yeah, he didn't care.
He wanted to keep his voice down. Ganadeyeris didn't care.
No, he didn't care. At one point when he's yelling for the guy to come down, he's like, "You can't walk this far." And then he said, "What? Can't you hear me? Oh, you're deaf now?" I was like, "Wow,
yeah,
he's
he really was
getting sarcastic."
There's some audio there that's gonna live on a long time. And the other thing is, I got up this morning a little early, and I wanted to see if anybody else covered this, but there's not a single other news agency. Not that we're a news agency, but that's news. Come on. That's a 60-year businessman. He probably had the first hotel on this beach. If I did something like that,
nobody cares.
That's true. If John Lalo did something like that, it would be. I'm telling you.
It's not newsworthy.
That's a major businessman who's supposedly done so much for this community, and he does that.
Oh my Lord!
Come on,
Mr. Sensationalism.
That's news.
It's just like somebody said on Facebook. It could have gotten TMZ.
I said that.
Oh, that was
say thank you. I appreciate you. I think after 1 year, you finally gave me credit for something because you didn't even know it was me.
I gave you credit for 2 things today already.
So anyway, that was interesting yesterday. I was sweating beads last night. I was just, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I think a lot of people can't believe, they can't believe that actually happened.
You have to think it's so shocking.
But you have to think.
People's behavior. Are you kidding?
When you start down that path, like if he's got an office on the second floor of the Taj Mahal over there, and he starts down the stairs to go over to the cottage.
The Lani Kai is no Taj Mahal.
Well,
sir.
Come on, dear. Don't be so rude. Okay. Can you be a little bit nice today, back from your vacation? And you start walking over there. At one point, do you say to yourself, this is a bad idea. I'm going to make a fool of myself.
No,
I have a great example. I could use myself as an example. When that guy sucker punched me at the tavern on Gateway Boulevard, he just sucker punched me when I was sitting there, and I thought, and then he hid in the bathroom like a little sissy, and I just waited for him. I waited for him to come out because you just can't do that. You just can't. Somebody just can't walk up to you and punch you. In a man's world, not today's world, whatever today's world is. In a man's world, you step outside and you finish with the business, and we winner, loser. You go home or you shake hands and you move on. Well. As I'm standing there I'm thinking, well, this is dumb. I'm 52 years old. I'm waiting for somebody to come out of the men's room so that we can grapple outside. So I just started walking home. At what point in that entire situation do you think this is dumb?
Because I don't think he was out of control. That's what I'm saying. From what I've been told, that is just how he operates.
Kevin. Yeah.
So I don't think he was losing it. Maybe it looked like it.
How do you know? We've never even seen him before.
That's what I'm saying. From what other people at the beach have said about previous behavior.
I had
You
to
don't
have
know.
I had to have like double confirmation that was him, because I was like,
I'm just shocked that you're so shocked.
well, I mean, I guess I don't expect people to act like that are so
Dear, everybody has moments.
well, I don't know. I mean, everybody knows now there's a camera on every street corner.
And that-
Everybody's being recorded. Everybody's going on the Facebook
That's
one way
right.
or another. And, you know, I mean, that damn video gets
But
more
that's-
views than we do.
But that's just part of human behavior.
Oh, man. I wonder what the people thinking that were sitting in the chairs like, wait a second.
Well,
what's
they were
going on
probably
here?
like, this is entertaining.
How do you not go up to the guy and say, listen, you're out too far. Can we have a conversation about it? And
I
it's,
think that's what the guy that was standing there
Man,
trying to
I have
calm
to
him
tell
down.
you, that guy that I think it was, I'm confused at what goes on over there. Bob, is it Bob who's the managing partner, or was it Dan? I'm not sure who it was, but it was
think
one of the two. We're trying to
Bob.
figure it out.
I don't want to even say the last name. 'cause I'll-
Ferrari.
Ferrara.
He
And
kept us cool.
he
And
did.
that's a guy that knows there's a camera running,
No, that's a guy
or who
who's-
has a good temperament too,
Right,
who's trying to
right.
run a business, or,
Right.
and sees this is gold, though. He's got to see. Now, what I want somebody to do, to take this video to that judge that's in a coma somewhere, or sleeping, or on vacation, and can't make the damn decision to drop that lawsuit. What is going on?
I don't think that's going to enter into it at all.
Oh,
It's
come
a whole
on.
separate situation.
Another week goes by and the judge just can't rip that thing in half. Now, come on. If he can send his employees out here to sign signatures thinking it's going to be something, then why can't we put the video into evidence and say, listen, we got to move on from this thing.
Is
This
he
is
putting the signatures
know
into
what he's
evidence? All right. Well,
I
there
don't
you
well,
go.
how much impact can 72 people from Germany and different parts of the world that are coming to visit have on the judge?
I doubt that any of that is going to be entered in.
Oh, man, that was just video gold right there. I mean, it's when something like that
Mm.
happens, just I miss doing the show. I feel like I haven't done the show in a month.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. You go away for a weekend to Nashville, and we need to talk about that
We
too.
had so much fun.
Oh yeah, Nashville was
By
a
the-
great time.
Once you finally got there, because you had to do the show in the morning.
Yeah, I had to do the show with Dan and Megan. Actually, I didn't need to do the show with Dan and
I
Megan. They
know.
could have done it themselves.
And thanks to all the other people
Yeah.
who filled in while I was gone, everybody did a fantastic
Yeah,
job.
Dan and Megan did great, and Nikki from FMB
FMB,
Designs. We almost got. She thought she was going to bring her husband, but I don't know if there really is a husband or not. But she came
You're
running
so
down at the
funny
last
about
minute, and Leon was walking by with a shirt on, with his Beach Talk Radio shirt on. He came on, and he's not been feeling well, so he's no longer going to the council meetings. So the big question now, and we're moving on from the video.
Finally.
But I will have something special tomorrow, folks. So it's going to be audio only. So be watching the Facebook page. My big question is, now that we've seen what we've seen, and now that we know there are over 600 calls in the last year from the Sheriff's Department to go to Lani Kai, on August 5th, is the town council going to bring this matter up? If they have the ability to do something with the liquor license of a local business, how much more evidence do you need to at
Do
least
they
talk
know?
about it? That's
I
what
thought
Tom
that's a
said.
state thing.
So did
Oh.
I, but that's what Tom said. And I don't know what the rule is on that, but I wonder if they're going to bring that up. I mean,
Well, I wonder if he's going to go and
Who he?
Conaderis and have a dispute about
he's already filed
the
a lawsuit.
property-
He's already filed a
the
lawsuit against
property
the
line
cottage.
thing. Well,
Somebody posted that.
I know, but was that recent or is that?
I don't know. I think it was a
Yeah.
while ago. I think I remember
Right.
seeing that in the paper
but
that
I think he may go again.
it had something to do with traffic or something, or parking, and now apparently he's mad that they're too far out on the beach, which it's not even near where his place is, right? I mean, if he sells alcohol, I mean, there's enough people to drink alcohol to go around. What's the
That's
big deal? I mean,
That's
if
true.
it's
Yeah,
when there is he worried that
More
people,
business generates more business. I don't get that he doesn't. I don't
when
get
people
that.
go, the people that go to the Lani Kai are probably not going to any other high class establishment on this beach. So I don't know what he's worried about. It's one different class of people, and I don't know what kind of class that is yet. But anyway, so that's what I wonder about.
not
on,
touching that one.
on August the 5th, will the council bring that up? I have a feeling they will, just to see what happens. So we have 600 calls to the Lani Kai for one reason or another, and then we have this incident where he's such a good neighbor. He's such
Like
a good
a
neighbor.
good
Like a good
neighbor.
neighbor. Mr. C is there. All right, so
Oh,
we'll let
good
that go
Lord.
for today, and we have some great vacation stories coming up, and we can't wait to hear your vacation stories. Enough. I was getting so sick and tired of seeing the pictures. Your feet
I
hanging
have to
over your
say-
feet hanging over the cliff. You're in the Grand Canyon. You're in the Zion Canyon.
The Zion.
Wherever you're in Utah, you're at a Kenny Chesney concert, or was it Luke Bryan, or whatever it was?
It was Keith Urban.
Keith Urban. They're all the same. Oh, by the way, speaking of country music, we have to give a big round of
Yes.
applause for
And
Kylie Morgan.
congratulations.
Yes. Kylie Morgan, who was on our show in
Mhm.
January, was signed by Universal Music Group, UMG, in Nashville, and that's huge. I mean, they could be the biggest label. Speaking of Keith Urban, he's
Wow.
on that label.
Wow.
Dierks Bentley's on that label. Carrie Underwood is on that label.
Good for her.
Who else?
Well deserved.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
She
she's
worked
got a,
hard.
Yes.
And she posted the story about how she told her mom she was moving to Nashville and she was going to write songs. And you know how that goes with
Right,
parents. Like,
right.
oh, my God, go to college or get a job. And every once in a while, somebody hits a home run like that. Well, now you got to come up with some hits. You got to
She will.
come up with some hits that they
She's-
play on the radio.
She has a great set of pipes, as
Yeah.
you always say, and she's so cute and so affable
Right.
and just
Great personality.
Yep.
Yeah. So congratulations to Kylie Morgan, and hopefully she's going to forget the little people on Fort Myers Beach and come back down for a visit so we can have her on again. So before we get into our first and only guest of the day, I'm going to read one of our ads. So if you want to set up, you want to get that set up with our next guest. I know
Okay.
you have no idea what I'm talking about, but I want to make sure everybody knows about FMB Designs and Remodeling,
Oh,
people. Okay, go ahead.
So about FMB Designs, and I hope that she's listening.
She always listens.
So a little segue here. We had our roof done, and in the process of getting the roof done, they also repainted the whole inside of the house. And I had to choose a color while I was on vacation. Very hard to choose a color when you're not there. So I chose a color, they put it on, and now I'm going to need to contract a consultation fee with Nikki because the color is great, but I have no design aesthetic at all. So I'm going to beg her to do a consultation and give me some.
Wait, you're repainting the inside of the house?
No. I'm
Okay.
leaving it the way it is, but now it's a cool color that's on the wall and we have warm tiles. So I hope she does some consulting. And if she doesn't, I hope that's going to be a new breakout area for her to come and give some suggestions and give me some feedback because I'm completely lost and we are never going to have a house put back together.
So you go away on vacation and the work for the roof didn't even start. Nothing was underway.
It
3
was
weeks-
started.
It
had
was?
started. Yes.
Oh, the dumpster was in the driveway. That's how much.
No, the banging was done.
Oh. Well, anyway, so by the time you get back, the new roof is up. The inside of the
Whole new
house is
house.
painted. We got new gutters. We're getting newer gutters. We got new solar panels.
Yep.
Thank you to Irma and a lawyer that we had to get to fight our insurance companies because insurance companies suck.
And we had that guy that came in and did that special
Oh, yeah.
redo in our,
The laundry room
The
had
laundry
the
room
old
is-
crappy white
Mhm.
cabinets. And
hanging
he goes,
barely.
he said to me, "Oh, I was going to surprise you tomorrow and bring in some new cabinets." So he's like, "That's not on the insurance thing." He goes, "No, we just have some extra cabinets that we
so
order."
nice.
And so he put them up, and that was nice. But
That's
anyway,
the nicest room in the house.
yeah, we're sleeping in the laundry room now. FMB Designs. I know Kim just talked about them a little bit. They have a Facebook page. They have a website. They have nice signage like you see behind me here. They do living rooms. They do bathrooms. There's before and after pictures that you can check out on our page, especially on their page. I know Nikki's working on 3D videos and things like that. So check them out. FMB Designs and Remodeling. And we appreciate everything that Nikki does to us and for us, by the way, too. So thank you, Nikki and Ed and FMB Designs and Remodeling. Have a seat. And Kim, you're going to sit here.
Okay.
And John's going to sit in my seat. And, go ahead. You're good. And Kim's going to keep microphone number 1 because she's the loudest. And
That
there we
is
go.
so not true.
Bob. There we go. Okay, wait. John's going to do the demo. So go ahead, dear. Take it away.
Well, dear, I have to get my regular glasses on because I can't see.
All right, Bob,
anything.
introduce yourself to the live studio audience. There you go. Get nice and close.
All right, folks.
Get nice and close, Bob.
Are we close enough
Yeah,
now?
there you
Everybody
go.
can hear me?
You don't have to
All right.
stare at yourself in the picture there.
I
Just
know,
tell
I
everybody who
know.
you are. Look, it's like you've never been on the Facebook before. You're like, wait, holy crap, what's going on there?
Here I am.
No, this is fun. Good morning, everybody. My name is Bob Wasno. I'm the resource coordinator down at the FGCU's Vesta Marine Lab down there on Bonita Beach Road. So,
And you're the hockey coach too.
And believe it or not, and I'm very proud to say that it's a very successful program. We won the national championship now
Nice.
2 years in a row. That's 4 times in the last 6 years.
Wow.
And we're not talking about just Florida teams. We're playing 233 other teams throughout North America to win this national championship, which
Wow.
we did in Dallas. So we've got some great hockey down here in addition to
Do any of the FGCU players make it to the NHL?
no, but we have had a couple of really some of our very good players are picked up by professional teams in Europe. So
Nice.
yeah, it's been great.
Awesome. It's amazing that you can play hockey in this weather. I mean, that
Well, it's not
machinery.
like they're playing it outside.
Okay, dear, I get it, but still, it's 100 degrees. I imagine that when you have a rink down in Florida, it takes a lot more than when you have a rink in Elmira, New York, where it's 12 below
Takes
zero.
a little bit more
Absolutely
air
correct.
conditioning.
Right?
A little bit more.
A
Yeah,
little bit more.
I'd hate to see Craig Brush's electric bill over there, but
Who's
he's
he?
doing a great job. Craig Brush is the president and operator of the Hertz Arena.
Oh, you can't say Hertz. We're gonna have to bleep that out.
Oh, okay.
They didn't
Never
pay for
mind.
sponsorship. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know how to bleep it out anyway.
You're gonna be doing a lot of bleeping here once he's written. I've got a couple
So-
of Bloody Marys. kicking
Oh,
in.
yeah, nice, Bob. Way to go. All right, look at Bob. Yeah, look at the hockey
He's
coach
stealing
going at
your
it here.
thunder on that.
No kidding. So,
So-
Bob, go ahead, dear.
So you're here to
Oh,
talk about
thank
the
you.
Rink to Reef program.
Yes, I'm really excited about it. There's so many different components to this program, and it just was kind of born out of the fact that when students come into FGCU, they essentially sign a contract that they're to do 80 community service hours, and it's
Right.
a great way that allows the students to go out in the community, do some projects, and recognize the impact that they can make as volunteers.
And that is every student, right?
That is
Yeah.
correct. No matter what the major,
Right.
yes. You sign up, you're doing
Right.
community service hours before you graduate.
Right. And so how did the Rink to Reef, is that how it got started?
Well, back in the beginning of the well, first off, when I started coaching, and we were in the beginnings of establishing this absolutely beautiful marine lab that we've got down here. It's been there
Yeah.
for now 10 years. In the very beginning, our job was to take it from what it was, which was a absolutely beautiful resort that was owned by Norman Nancy Vester. And now it's an absolutely beautiful marine lab that we operate. So in the course of that, I had a lot of students coming down to help me. They were doing things like painting walls and helping me with drywall, ripping out walls, getting boats. We had a lot of, we were in one of those modes where if it had dust on it, that meant it was abandoned, and we brought
Yeah.
it back to the lab and incorporated it somehow into the infrastructure. But it was a lot of fun doing that. So
Upcycling.
upcycling, correct. So we had a bunch of the hockey players coming down there, and we thought, the real the purpose behind the project is to have them involved in something also scientific wise. And so this design that we've got, this Lincoln Log Rink to Reef habitat design, basically stems from some artificial reefs that we had built back in the day, where we used these giant concrete pilings and made these Lincoln log structures offshore. What's really incredible about this design is that it allows for a large, it maximizes the area with the sticks being the way they are with spacers and everything. We'll
Right.
be able to show you here in a second.
Yeah,
We've got one.
we'll be able to pull, you actually brought one of the reefs that's been
Mhm.
made, and it's made from,
There it
there
is.
you can see it. Thank you so much for the visual assistance.
Well done.
Thank you. That Facebook thanks you. And so it's made from, these are made from broken.
Broken
Hockey.
hockey sticks, and these are not your old style wooden stick. These new hockey sticks are made out of a carbon composite material. It's the same material that are used for helicopter rotors and a lot of important tools and things like that.
And
That's
this,
bringing it around there. Yeah.
as I was looking, that carbon composite is not something that can be
No.
recycled. So it would have sat in the landfill
E-
as garbage,
Exactly right. This carbon composite material cannot be recycled in any way. So
other than
Um,
this way now.
right. So now they're simply repurposed to do something good with them. And this is this oyster habitat that we've got here.
And this program is in conjunction with the NHL's Green Initiative.
That's
is that
correct.
true?
Yes, they fully
And-
endorse this program.
And so they collect, or you guys collect, hockey sticks, not just from the Everblades. It's all over.
Oh, absolutely. We've had boxes of broken hockey sticks sent to us from Detroit Red Wings, all over the East Coast. New Jersey folks have been sending us hockey sticks. We're starting a new affiliation with the New Jersey Devils. We've got contacts with San Jose Sharks out there now. This is a program that's really just snowballed since its beginning. It just makes such sense.
Absolutely.
It's so easy to do, and it's one of those things. You place these underneath the docks. If you've got oysters around, the oysters will begin to recruit and grow on these habitats.
And there's also a mesh here too.
Yeah, they've got the plastic mesh across the top.
Well, right. One of the things we've seen is not. Are you going to be okay here, John?
He's gonna tip off of this.
It's like,
All right. If you folks could just.
how many sticks does it take to build one? How many sticks does this take to
12
build one?
12 sticks total. We've got them at 40-inch long and 20-inch wide. And we seem to see that that's where the majority of these sticks are broken for one reason or another. But we try to use as much of the broken hockey stick as possible.
So over at not Germain now, Hertz
Hertz
Arena,
Arena.
Yeah.
is there a barrel sitting right there for all the kids encouraged to just dump them in the barrel after they break them? Because they're pretty much useless afterwards unless they
Right.
want to build their own reefs, right?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And the great thing about this, we've got a great website. We'll give you the website in a second here, but the website tells you a little bit about what the mission is and how important these oysters are to the environment as filter feeders. And then it also goes on to show you how to build one of these, as well as
I
downloadable.
saw the directions for that.
Not
That's
too bad.
not too bad.
You see, they're very easy. And we've also got a brochure that you can print out if this was something that you wanted to do in your local community and get started. So this gives you an idea of what the program's all about. We've had, as far as building these structures goes, we've had Brownie troops come out there all the way through, the college students, and the Brownie troops just had an absolute blast putting these things together. So they're very simple to build. Takes anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes to build one of these. We're putting them all
Maybe
together.
for you. For Ed and I, it would be.
You'd be all right. It's
yeah,
Ed.
that's true.
Right,
That's
Say,
true.
right.
hand me a screwdriver, and it goes. Is it the thing that goes click, 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 click? No, it's not that.
Yes, you know him very well.
So, anyways, once you build these now? I know there's another program out there also that has these reefs. They're a little costly, but they're
Mhm.
doing a great thing. Are you
Sure.
also charging and raising money for FGCU with the money? Where does the money go? Does it help the program? Give us a little insight on that, how much it costs. And all
Right.
that.
Right. We have been. We're charging $150 to be installed in residential docks and $250 for commercial installations.
And they can go in homes, they can go in
Yeah.
businesses, marinas, anywhere where there's salt water or brackish.
Absolutely. Even
Water,
brackish
okay.
water. And quite frankly, we had a couple that people had bought them and placed them under the docks in fresh water just because they're great fish attractors also.
Right.
So people that like to just watch the fish. But yes, that is installed price.
Okay.
And those things, I mean, the number of oysters that can get on a structure like that is huge. I think I was reading it's about 400.
Right. We estimate 400 oysters based on the area that we've seen oysters recruit on these structures. And when you look at it, this is what really blows you away.
Yeah.
When you look at 400 oysters, each one pumping and filtering 50 gallons a day, we're talking one of these units filtering and cleansing 20,000 gallons of water per day.
Boom.
And that
Wow.
is an amazing number. And for those of you that are trying to figure out what that volume is, it's about the size. It's a volume of water about the size of your typical classroom out there.
That's a
Classroom?
lot of clean
Like a regular
water.
classroom. If you,
That
I don't
means
know.
you'd have to been in a classroom lately to know how big a classroom
Well,
is.
let's say twice the
How about a
size of your
pool?
bar.
How
How's
about
that?
by pools? How many pools is that? How many gallons is in a pool?
Let's say two, for the sake of moving on. Let's say 2 pools worth.
Nice, nice. Moving on.
It is a lot of clean water.
So
And
Wazna,
Yeah.
I met you Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Calusa Catch and Release.
Started in
You were the
1989.
weighmaster. You were
Oh yeah.
the neutral guy that
I don't know where
made
this is going.
everything to the inch. Back when we used to bring the fish in, now we've all gotten smarter in our fishing and in our tournaments, where now it's mostly pitcher, catch and release. There were times where we had to bring in live fish, and you would weigh them and all that.
Yeah.
You remember
So-
ever handed me an award?
Yes, I did.
What?
Yes, the Tarpon Lodge redfish. You
Oh.
fished, and you won
Yes.
first prize
Do
there.
you
huh?
remember?
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Shameless plug. Shameless
Yes.
Yeah,
plug.
yeah,
Gracie.
yeah. There we
Forgot
go.
all
We're
about
stroking his
that.
ego this morning, but I'll tell you. well,
So much
thanks-
for hockey
yeah.
sticks.
Thanks for bringing that up, because there's a lot of
I've
upset
known
fishermen
Waz
out
a
there who
long
we disqualified.
time. He's a great friend of mine and my wife Debbie,
Oh, Debbie's
and
fantastic.
he's always
Yes.
been really educational to the fishermen, because I mean, you're talking about a bunch of yahoos out there fishing sometimes that, they're just going for me. And he brought a lot of education to those people and made them understand that, hey, the fishery is the fishery, and if you keep killing this stuff, y'all got to understand it ain't gonna be here anymore.
Oh, you're absolutely right, and it was always a two-way street. The amount of information that I learned from these guides, I've been a part of the Lee County Professional Guides Association, and that's a group of 65 to 85 guides out there, and they always had me on speed dial, and they were the ones that called me at 6 o'clock in the morning. Their baits dying in their live well underneath the wires in Pine Island Sound, or here's a dead manatee, or here's an obstruction in the waterways. And I mean, they're a very important source of a lot of great information that I was able to get. And through them also, we were able to put all kinds of programs together. We put the fish resuscitation tank together, which became
Yeah.
a statewide.
Oh, that was awesome.
Wow.
It was like you put oxygen into the tank. Like you bring in a live fish, they weigh it, then they put it in there, and it'll revitalize them before the release.
Right, and that became part of the application for doing redfish tournaments these days. And these are all kinds of things we work together on them. In fact, the Red Star program, we talked about the
Yeah, when
grow
you
out
had the
facility, but-
redfish, they were growing redfish over there on Tarpon Bay.
that's right,
correct?
on Sanibel.
On Sanibel, and that got destroyed in Hurricane Charlie. Was
No,
it
we
not?
rebuilt
Or
that.
was it-
We built that several times. We had 5 good years of producing redfish that we used for a scientific component as part of the Sanibel Captiva Conservation Foundation when Dr. Steve Bortone was there. And I simply, that was when I was with the University of Florida Sea Grant program. And that's when I moved over to Florida Gulf Coast University is what ended that program. per
You've
se.
been here a long time, longer than FGCU. That's the thing.
31 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We drank a lot together too at those tournaments, haven't we?
The problem is we never know about these tournaments, so you start flipping through pictures and time and time
Exactly.
again, the same stories. We always had a great time.
Not touching it.
Not
Right.
touch-
So
Well done.
hockey sticks are really good. Yes,
Hockey sticks
we
are-
need more hockey sticks.
We need, actually, I have a friend coming into town today.
Mhm.
I talked to him about the program. They're bringing 4 hockey sticks from Huntsville, Alabama,
Wow.
the Havoc, and their granddaughter, Mackenzie. I'll give a little shout out.
Yeah,
Mackenzie Brown.
absolutely.
She plays hockey. She's just a little munchkin, right? She plays hockey for the Huntsville Havoc. It's crazy. So she's bringing some sticks down. Now he got excited, and he looked to see if he can get a bunch more sticks. But we're going to work with Bob, and we're going to go down into the Vester and check it out on Monday and bring the sticks to him.
Absolutely. Yep.
And my
yep.
grandson also is big into junior blades, and we got like 20 more sticks we're going to bring to him. So anyone that has hockey sticks laying around, the composite ones, not the wooden ones, correct?
Right, right.
That's correct.
We're
Right.
trying to do a good thing and make everything work. And if anyone's out there in hockey land,
Well, that's what I was going
figure
to
out
say.
a way
you
to
know,
ship them to
Yep.
Bob, because it's a good thing what we're doing.
maybe
down
the
here.
snowbirds that are listening, when they come down, bring some broken
your
That's
hockey
right.
sticks
Strap
down.
them to the
Go
roof.
to
throw
your
'em in the back of the
local
pickup.
rink and ask
Yeah.
for broken hockey sticks, or start collecting
Yeah,
them right
all
now.
the colleges, all of the.
We
yeah.
got them girls up there in Michigan, Christy Hennessy, and all them girls.
Yeah.
All them.
Christy
they-
will do whatever.
She will
She
go to
will.
every ice
She
rink
is
now
on
and
it.
get them.
Yep.
We know you will, girl.
That's right.
She's probably
And-
commenting. I can't even see. But
I was reading that 32 million hockey sticks are made every year.
That's correct. Yes. And 32 million are breaking
broken.
out
Are
there.
probably broken. Yes. So we should be able to clean the entire Atlantic.
Oh,
with that.
right.
At 14
right.
sticks, how many does that make? How many reefs does that make?
That makes a lot.
A
Let's say-
lot.
One of the things I was just approached the other day, I was in a conference call with a woman, Kate. She's the director. I forget her last name right now, but I'm pretty excited. She is in charge of the Billion Oyster program, where they
Wow.
want to put 1 billion oysters around the island of Manhattan in New York. She's under the umbrella of Robert Kennedy's
Foundation.
Ocean Foundation that he's got.
Nice.
And so they approached me with the idea of installing these hockey rink units, habitats around Manhattan. And I absolutely love this idea because of two things. One, I've also been working with a junior high school hockey team in central New Jersey. What they've done was they've taken this to the next step. They work in Barnegat Bay. So they've taken these, after they build these habitats, they take them to an oyster hatchery where they're actually soaked and are able to recruit oysters in the hatchery before throwing
So
a
they
wet
seed
blanket.
'em.
Yes, they essentially
Wow.
seed
Then
them.
put 'em out
Now
there.
they're putting them in Barnegat Bay, where once they grow, this is going to be the brood stock to be able to put oysters on the other things, the riprap, the bulkheads, and whatever else
Right.
happens to
Right.
be hanging around. So I approached her with this idea. They absolutely love it, and this is going to be something that I would imagine that we're not going to see another broken stick in the landfill around New York City coming
Ever
soon. I
again.
hope,
No.
and that would be just a great thing for them.
And
Do you
then-
know how long these last?
Well, we've got one that's been underneath the lab for 5 years now. When we
Wow.
started this program, we put a prototype in there to make sure that oysters were indeed going to recruit and attach themselves to
Mhm.
it, which they have, of course. And it's been a great program. Now, when we had Hurricane Irma come through a couple years ago, we saw there at the lab all that bonita flooding that came through, all
Mhm.
that fresh water, essentially killed all those oysters that were on the habitats at the time. But once we got back to regular salinities, what was amazing to see, all those dead oyster shells that are attached to it were now recruiting additional oysters and made the structure even larger. You cannot even pick that structure up out of the water. It's
Wow.
so laden with oysters right now.
Well,
And
that's fantastic.
back before you started doing the reefs, I do recall you doing a program out on oyster bars also, correct? Where you're putting
Yeah.
like bags of oysters, seeding the beds and stuff, right?
Right,
'Cause
exactly.
You're trying to get the water quality down there in Bonita and experimenting at the same time, trying to make it all work, right?
Right. That was a great program with Florida Gulf Coast University, where we would go out and we would find these old historical reefs, and they were there. They do not have many oysters for one reason or another, boat traffic, dredging projects close by, whatever. And when we would find these historical reefs, what we would do is we would bag up fossilized shells that we would get up in
Apalachicola area, maybe.
Apalachicola would bring these giant things. So the students would, for their community service hours,
Right.
load these oyster shell into these net bags, which were biodegradable over time. And then we would have these bucket brigades, and we were putting out 10 tons of these shells at a time in a mosaic fashion, just as if you were laying floor tiles down. And what it is now that they've got this hard substrate, oysters that are close by, the calcium carbonate that's leaching off these old oyster shells is kind of a chemical indicator. This is where the oyster spat wants to fall out of suspension and attach themselves, as opposed to seagrass or mud where they're just simply going to die. So
Right.
it's been a very successful program also. So this is just taking it to a different level with using docks.
Yeah, and if anyone's ever been to Apalachicola, it's like one of the top places that they do oyster calling out in their bays. And when they bring them in and they shuck them all, there'll be piles and piles of all these oyster shells. But then they put them on a barge, and then they have this big pressure hose that they push it off the barge to it's made to so the reef stays alive. It revitalizes
Sustainable,
the reef, so
yeah.
new
Yes, right.
oysters will grow easier to those shells, and it just keeps sustaining itself, right?
Exactly right. Exactly right. Well said.
Well, and like we were saying, you need the oysters and the mussels and all there's some other bivalves that also filter out stuff that will attach to the reef as well. Is that correct?
Right. We had an invasive species of mussel. The green mussel is here, and for years it really just bloomed, and it was a big problem in many places with water intakes. And we did some research on those. The good news is, inside the bays, It's too fresh for them. They won't.
Okay.
They won't. Outside in the Gulf, for the most part, it's too salty for them. So where we're seeing a lot of these residential populations of the green mussel are in the fender systems. And look, if you're going to have an invasive, a filter feeder is not the worst one to
Right.
have. And quite frankly, we do a little bit of research, and we'd use 12 for research, and I'd have 12 for lunch. They were quite delicious. So it's not a bad thing.
I have to say, I am not a fan of eating oysters.
Well,
I didn't.
they're kind of slimy.
I think it's an acquired taste.
They're kind
And
of.
then
I
think,
like them cooked. I'm all. I can't eat them raw. But
Yeah.
you know, there are those people, and if I've had maybe a drink or two, I've known to slide one down and just like whatever.
There's
So
a
let
famous.
me ask you though.
I was going to say there's a famous poster amongst the oyster researchers out there showing a caveman slurping the first
Right.
oyster, and below it says, Brave was the man that first.
Yeah, who's gonna eat this?
Ah.
booger? Well,
Oh.
somebody did it.
Somebody did it and
Especially-
said, "Wow, these are good."
So my
Considering
question,
that's what that oyster is what's cleaning the water. Like,
I know.
wow.
speaking of clean water, you work underneath Dr. Parsons, correct?
Yes,
Mike
correct,
Parsons.
right.
And can you just kind of give us your analogy of how things are going right now with our clear water right now? Because you guys are our experts. We always look out to you guys. And
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest that I'm privy to a lot of the things that he's been going with, because quite frankly, I'm busy enough there, and he's been on the Blue Green Algae Council. I could only say that with 100% certainty, as far as our water goes, it's wet. That's about it.
I like that.
And that
Okay.
he's on it. I mean,
He's
we
on
had
it.
him on the
We've-
show a while ago,
Yes.
and he is super knowledgeable, very informative, and
Right. We've got a soup going on out there, and whether or not this bloom takes off or not this summer, we've got our fingers crossed, of course, that
Well,
it
we're
doesn't. We
halfway
won't-
through, so cross your
I
fingers.
know.
We-
I know.
We were
So,
already in the midst of this last year at this time.
Right.
So
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was some bad
we
stuff.
just got to pray and it doesn't happen again. And we're trying to get it all worked out with our government and our new governor. So, all right.
so
we're
the
getting queue.
website.
Oh, our website, www.rink2reef.com. And that's Rink, RINK, the number 2, and Reef, REEF, rink2reef.com.
Bob, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thank
It was
you.
awesome.
It's been a
Yes.
real pleasure. I got
Yeah.
a couple Bloody Marys and some breakfast, so
Nice.
everything's
Enjoy
good. I'm ready
your
to start my day.
breakfast.
Thank you, Ed.
All right, everybody. Do you
Bill.
like
See
beer?
you guys.
That's the question. Do you like beer?
Do I like beer?
We are
That's the
excited
question?
to announce a new show has joined the Florida
Oh.
Podcast Network, and it was so cool. Dave was in town. Dave runs the show that I'm going to tell you about. He was in town last week. We tried to get together, but he was taking his kids around he went to the Imaginarium and he went to different
Nice.
things. And of course, he visited a few places that serve beer, like the
Fort Myers
Oh,
Brewery?
the place in Gateway is exploding.
Oh
What's
my
going on with that? They're
gosh.
building a pavilion.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
And on the big lawn area where you can watch bands play, and they do a lot of stuff. Why am I giving them a free promotion? What the
I
hell's that
don't
about?
know. Well,
you're
because
just
it's a
giving
good
them-
place.
You're giving them an idea of what they could get if they did sponsor your show.
That's right.
That's
you know,
right.
I always thought about going down to that place and seeing if we could test the show over there, like on a
I-
different night,
They have a nice
because they do the food truck stuff, and
Mhm.
you know,
They
there's a
do
lot
the
of people
brew
we know
yoga.
over there too, because it's
They
our
do the
area.
yoga,
The brew yoga.
the brew yoga.
You know,
you should try that.
you'll never hear me come out of a room saying, "Man, I just took a yoga class."
You would
It's
never
never-
come out the same way as you went in.
I know. I probably wouldn't. I'd have to put some kind of pink tutu on. Anyway, the Florida Podcast Network has a new show called the Florida Beer Podcast, brought to you by the Florida Beer Blog. And the host is David Butler out of Coral Springs. He's been writing the Florida Beer Blog now for 5 years, and he's the perfect guy to introduce you to Florida's craft beer scene. Search for his show, the Florida Beer Podcast, in your podcast player and catch the debut episode number 21 out now. FloridaPodcastNetwork.com.
Didn't
Thank
see
you.
that.
You're welcome.
I know you guys are mocking me, but that's okay. I can take
Well,
it.
we
I have
knocked
thick
you off.
skin. I tell you what, tomorrow morning I'm not going to show up and get all angry in your face and stuff and call you MFer and things like that.
No.
So you don't have to
no.
worry about
You
that.
know what? And that's the thing. I was just going to say we have new neighbors next door. I don't know if you know that.
You
And
know, I'm going to
we
tell you
don't act
something.
we don't act that way down this end in
You're
the Times
cordial.
Square. We're cordial.
Civilized.
We have JJ and Jason took over the Margaritas, and I think we'll have them on sometime as guests. They joined the Times Square Merchants Association, so come on and say hi to them.
Your wife just texted me.
Oh,
I'll tell you
again.
later. You know, you brought up Margaritas, John. Jason, did you say his
He's
name?
trying to reach his
Jason.
phone. It's
Jason,
out of reach.
I texted him to come on the show, and he didn't respond. So,
He hasn't responded to me either. You just got to walk over.
oh, okay. He doesn't use his phone. He's like one
What?
of the 5
Dude,
people in America that doesn't
he's
use
at
his
your
phone.
gym every morning.
He's not at my gym. I don't
thought
have
he
a
was
gym.
at your gym.
No, I haven't seen him yet. I mean,
Oh.
usually when I get to the gym, I'm the only one there because it's so early.
Well, you're
but
kind of a freak when it
Yeah.
comes to early
Yes.
morning.
yeah,
He texts people like at 7 a.m. going, "Hey, did my hat show up down at Peach yet? What's the girl's number?" I'm like, I will not give you her number until after the show because your 1 o'clock in the afternoon is still our 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay,
I
buddy.
hear you. I hear you. So we did get new hats, by the way. They just they'll I guess they'll be here soon. But
They're
You
in
got new
transit.
hats?
yeah, we had new hats because we had a lot of people asking about hats. So we had new hats. By the way,
Same
ma-
design?
yeah,
Oh,
same
okay,
color, same
okay.
design. Not a new logo or anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah, once you build a brand, you don't kill the brand. You don't kill the logo.
okay,
you got to
Mr.
keep it rolling.
Marketing,
You got to
yeah.
keep pushing it
Mhm.
out there, spending
Mhm.
money on the brand.
Of course.
We
Spending
have-
money is your thing.
We have free what are they called? Mouse
Mou-
pads. You can come and take one, please. You can have a free mouse pad. You can have a free business card. You can have a free
Ooh.
sticker. And
Free
Ooh,
yeah,
free
yeah, put a
business
put a bumper
card.
sticker
Grab
on your
you a
car.
business card. Those are really cool,
Wow.
man.
Grab a
Those
free
are going to
business
be
need
a
a mouse pad?
collector's
Yeah.
item.
free mouse
Come on,
pad.
Bob, load up, man.
I'll never forget the late Larry Kiker saying that he always had our coffee mug and mouse pad on his desk,
Yep.
which was kind of cool.
That's
Yep.
nice.
And so, John, we wanted to have you on for a few minutes, not for anything political or anything, but we're coming up on a year. In 2
Uh-oh.
weeks, it's going to be a year, and we just wanted to say thank you
Yes.
for
Oh, I
your
I was
commitment.
getting all puckered up here. They wanted a raise or
No,
something. I'm like,
no,
oh,
no.
Here we go.
Wait, you pay us?
Oh,
No. We wanted to say thank you. It's been so much fun,
Yes.
and we're putting in our 2-week notice. No, I'm just kidding. What the hell else am I going to do? I was telling Kim earlier that I did the show last week, but I felt like I haven't done it in a month because not only has she not been here, everyone's been great. The fill-ins have been great.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
you go to Nashville and you have a vacation, you just feel like your whole
You got
Vacation
to
is
see your
really set.
daughter. and-
yeah. Oh,
Oh,
it's
we
tons
had
of
How
fun.
so
awesome
much
was that?
fun. Yes.
But
Look, we were so happy to have you part of this. And, like when you came to me and says, there's stories to be told here. I want to do this. I want to do this. And I'm like, have at it.
Yeah.
You were like, really? I'm allowed to do
Yeah.
this? And I was kind of cool with you. I'm like, just have fun with it. I don't
Right.
care if you're controversial or whatever. It's not always my beliefs,
right.
but you have fun with it. I know that you have your restrictor plate here to keep you in line. So, I mean, that 3 weeks you were gone, Kim, it was a little shaky. I mean, he had no
No
it
filter.
was none.
He
none.
needed an oyster.
I know, and you watched it from out west. I know that you had like a
she
radar
almost
up
jumped
on
off the
Great
cliff
know.
when she
and
saw
stuff.
Torgerson going crazy on the
Oh,
show.
Well, we all did. It was good to see
Yeah.
Tom really show some
Mhm.
emotion. He's always, so
He's very
cool and
reserved,
everything,
yeah.
and always saying the right thing. And it needed to be said. And you know what? It was amazing how all of a sudden the lawsuit got dropped the next day.
Right. Well, I have to answer some of the questions, but I don't want to forget what I'm about to say to you. Bill, the pedicure is still on. We got caught
boy.
up in the vacation and the 4th of July and all that, but the pedicure is still on.
You
So
should have got that
yeah.
done before the vacation.
and Debbie says thank you. She's awesome. I haven't seen her in so
No,
long.
I know.
Why don't you bring her out more? Damn
My
it.
wife?
Yeah.
Yes.
We keep different hours than you. I told you you're a
all
freak
right.
in the
That's
morning.
true.
All right.
So
I was here at 10:30 last night with my whole family.
Oh,
I have
cool.
all my grandkids in town.
and I saw that
my
bill was
son.
$450.
and
they
I
posted
charged
that
them,
on the
too. I
Facebook.
charged them.
You lie.
Every penny.
You lie. You didn't
Oh,
charge
yeah.
them anything.
I charged them.
Yeah. So what worked at the beginning was that you knew everybody. Like the first week we had a guest lined up and the guest backed out. And so you said, I call this guy Joe Orlandini. I didn't know him from Adam. Turns
I
out
know.
he's
We saw Joe last night. He
Yeah.
came by with Shannon and the kids. yeah.
right. And we
Honestly, we could not have found a more perfect partner
Thank you.
to do this. I'm
and
seriously.
I feel the same way. It's like
I'm being honest. I mean, we have enjoyed this. We've enjoyed getting to know you and all your friends. And as you said, you're so laid back. You have always maintained that it's our thing, and you didn't want to, change it in any way. And
Right.
we have really appreciated.
there's times I cringe, but I mean,
Hey,
that's
there's
what-
times I
that's good
cringe.
radio. That's good radio.
Yeah, and I so love small town radio. I did it for 7 years in upstate New York, and it was the greatest thing. And this is just like a a reproduction of that, because little things like this happen at down the street, and it's really a big thing on the beach here. It's not really a big thing
Right.
Overall in life, but I mean,
I think this grew bigger than you ever thought.
You're
because
right.
I shared a lot of contacts with you
Yes.
that I knew through years and years. I have thousands of numbers, and like Wasno, I probably haven't seen him in 2 years, 3 years, but we're buddies. And it's just like, you just call him up. Hey, Waz, you want to do the show? He's like, yeah, over there.
And what's been great is we really haven't had, other than let's see, Tracy Gore, Chris Patton, and Bob Conadieris, nobody else has said no to come on the show.
Yeah.
So
And people
everybody's-
should keep in mind that some people get nervous and they're like, I don't want to do it. And every time that that has happened, when the show has been done, they have said, I had so much fun. That was great. So
when
please.
Nikki came on the first time to talk about her business, she was so
She was
frightened,
so
and now
nervous.
then she turned into a guest host. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's we have a lot of fun, but we just wanted to say, for our 1 year anniversary, we expect something big, but it doesn't have to be that big.
Yeah.
yeah,
I just want to
that's
give
not gonna
a
happen.
shout out to Jim. I heard his health is not doing
Yes.
good right
Right.
now.
Well, you have to be more specific because not everybody knows. Jim and Bridget come.
They come in every weekend.
yes.
They sit right here. They're friends of the show. Bridget's from Germany. She knew my Aunt Liz very, very well. They speak
She's
a
a hoot.
German.
Yeah.
They always ask about my Uncle Pete, who's doing fine up in Youngstown. But apparently Jim has taken a turn pretty bad in the last few days. And we just saw him down at the Shamrock last week for another function that was not so pleasant to be at the time. But
that's the other thing.
and he looked fine. So I don't know what's going on. It's the first I just heard of it, but we give prayers out to him, and we hope that we can get
I
through
think-
this.
Yep, he's going to be on the mend soon.
That's the other thing. When something like that happens, you see everybody together. Everybody comes
Mhm.
together and pays their respects or helps each other
Yeah.
out.
And it's kind of, you get to know these people and, their customers. Oh, Wasno wants to make sure you know that he has some pamphlets here. So
Okay.
he's going to always be here at Beach Talk Radio. And if
Sure.
he needs more, he'll call you. I got that. I
All
got
right.
that.
Yeah, we'll put them in
He's
the box.
trying to dash and dine.
But we get to know people just like Gene,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you fall in love with them.
Mhm.
And
Right.
then things happen.
Yeah.
I have a wall up there full of plaques of people that have come and gone, and we've enjoyed them all these years, and we've always given them a place to be.
I don't
And
know.
like when you were talking about how we were a great fit and this and that,
I didn't
we
say that.
cannot-
My wife did.
we cannot reinvent Pete's Timeout 5 doors down.
No.
It becomes what it is.
Right.
It's just friendly. We try to be friendly to people and this and that. And just like the show, it just became what it
Yeah.
is. And you've tried. You went other places. You
It didn't
felt like,
work. It just felt
doesn't
like you were cheating
work.
on your wife or something like that. And
well, you
it,
were.
it just, and a different time of
Your
day.
husband, wife.
It's the right time of day, too. It's the perfect time where you can have people come down. They want to have breakfast and chat a little bit and then go on with your day.
And Pete's provides a unique
That's right.
experience in and of itself, which is why you're not so worried and you actually welcome
That's right.
other restaurateurs
Good karma, too.
and other businesses in. You're
Well,
very supportive of everybody.
We're all in this together.
Right.
We want people to come visit our island.
Well, some of
And-
you are in it together.
Right.
Well, you're
Right.
always going to have that.
Yep.
You can't make the whole world stop because there's some lunatics out there spouting things out. And
John,
whatever.
what is the phone number to the judge that is not
I
making?
have
Give
no
me the phone
idea.
number. I'll
Don't-
call her live on
I
the
don't
air.
know why you
I-
think
I
the
can't-
judge.
It's the judge that's delaying the whole thing.
You
She
said
won't-
this
No,
is
but I
non-political,
think this
sir.
is- oh, that's right.
Well, that's not really
You went
political. You have all the damn contacts. That's the first
I
time
have
you didn't.
it, but I'm not giving
You
it to
don't have the
'cause you'll
judge's
call
phone.
them at like
I
4
will
in the
call them.
morning.
No, I'll call them on the air.
Then they're
I'll
going to
call-
rule against it, Torges.
No, they're
if you
not.
start
That's right.
calling them.
They can't use that against them. Well, thanks, John. We appreciate you coming
Thank
down this
you,
morning.
guys.
We know
And
it's
so
not your time
when
of day.
is the 1 year anniversary?
2
then?
weeks.
Two
in 2
weeks.
It was
weeks?
August 5th last year. It was August 3rd or 5th. I was looking it up.
And
It's
what
in 2 weeks.
episode are we on?
67.
And there's
I
only
think-
52 weeks
well,
in a year, so I don't get your math.
if you
Is
go
this
back-
Common
I
Core
went
math
back-
or what?
Cut it out. It's the metric system.
Good.
That's what is Common Core math? I don't get
I
it.
don't know.
Go back to where you came from, John.
Something like what Bob said, the size of a classroom. I'm like, just tell me a swimming pool.
No, we
I'm
did
out.
the.
I'm out.
Well, there's
There
okay.
goes the mic drop.
Okay.
We
Thank
appreciate
you,
you
John,
not actually
Rollo, and
dropping it.
especially thank you to Debbie.
I know.
Because she's the brains behind this operation here. We know that for sure. And by the way, folks, before you sign off on us, we want to make sure. I don't even think you know this. I
Uh-oh.
know John doesn't know this. Next week we're going to have a family of 4 on. They're special guests. They're from Cape Coral. You might have seen on the Wink website or perhaps on Wink News during the week that a man that goes by the name of Virgil had an issue with his brain.
Okay.
And he's in the hospital, or he was in the hospital. I talked to him on the phone, and his kids they wanted to raise their young kids. They wanted to raise some money for him, and they started to sell lemonade out in front of their house. So I thought, well, that's a great story. People need to hear it. We're going to have the entire family come down next Saturday.
Are they going to bring lemonade?
I think, well, you don't want to just give them money. You want to have them sell some lemonade if they can. I don't know if they're going to bring lemonade. So hopefully we can raise some money for the dad.
Yeah.
Virgil and his young kids are going to come down and they're going to tell us a story. And
do they have a
I don't think they have anything set up like that. I mean, they had a jug with money for lemonade. So keep that in mind if you're going to be around next Saturday. I'm not
And if you're in Cape Coral, get some lemonade.
Yeah, I'm not going to set up any kind of online thing. Nobody trusts those things anymore when you set those dumb accounts up. So you can drop off some pennies. You can drop off a big check if you want for them. But if you go to the Wink site, you can Google the last name. It's Virgil Garrison. The kids' names are Jillian and Hunter. And yes, same as our daughter. We don't have a son. Same as our daughter. And they're going to be coming down. They were going to come down today, but they were going to be on Fly 95 or something like that.
Nice.
This radio station was coming out to watch them sell a lemonade. So it really was a great story because they got feeling bad for their dad. They said he wasn't acting the same or something like that. So it was really cool. So next Saturday, that'll be one of our guests. And we want to talk a little bit about your vacation. We might have to save some stories.
I think we'll save it.
It's exactly 1,000 right now. So it's 10 o'clock on the nose. So the Nashville thing was crazy. It was a lot of fun. And it's
riding the scooters. If anyone gets on his Facebook page, you have to see his mad scooter skills.
The roads, you're not allowed to ride the scooter, which makes sense, on the sidewalk. But the roads in Nashville are not perfect, so you have to be careful. I got that one sucker up to 19 miles an hour. And
did you wear a helmet?
It was downhill. No, I didn't wear a helmet. They don't have helmets. And the concept is you get an app, and the scooters are laying all over it wouldn't work here because they're clean here. But the scooters are laying everywhere. And there's 3 different companies that rent the scooters out. And you scan the app with a barcode, and it sucks money out of your account, and you ride the things around town. And it was fun. Me and Jilly got to do that.
Yeah, Nashville there were so many great
first time
things
for you.
About
first time.
It. Yes. The only downside, I was a little bit dismayed and surprised by the number of homeless people there.
Oh yeah, you guys gave me grief about taking a picture of that one homeless guy. That was over on whatever that street. What's that street over there where I took a picture of them? What's this
whatever.
But they were everywhere, and they're kind of aggressive.
Yeah, it's
everywhere.
It's a lot. And
there was a homeless family with a dog, and it's more than just a couple of vets around. There was a lot of homeless people.
We went into the CVS to buy eyelashes. The first time I've ever worn fake eyelashes, and thanks to my daughter, was able to put them on. But while we were in the CVS, the cashier was like, "You're not from around here." Well, no. And she said, please keep your purse close to you. There's a lot of pickpockets. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness.
Yeah. We teased a lot of people about the vacation, and we're not telling any stories. So we'll save some for next weekend, but tell the bug story.
All right. So I'm in Zion Canyon. I'm in a 1-person tent. It's the last night that I'm there. It is 4:30 in the morning and I'm sleeping. It's hot, very, very hot there. And I feel something just brush against my arm. And I wake up in a start like, well, I have people right next to me. It was a very close campsite, and they were from Quebec. So they were speaking French. And so they started speaking French to me. And I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I could hear the worst noise in the dark is to hear something so large scurrying around in your tiny little 1-person tent. And I'm praying that it's not like I don't know, a squirrel that will bite me with rabies or a scorpion. And I'm like, I have to turn the light on. I mean, I have to, and I don't want to see it. I turn the flashlight on. It is at least 4 inches, if not bigger, like a dinosaur level bug that is freaking out in my tent. Now, I didn't scream because people are sleeping. I took my hat off. I scooped it up. I threw it, the hat and the bug, out the window of the entrance of the tent. And as I watched in sheer amazement, there goes my hat inching along with that dinosaur bug taking my hat.
You're amusing
with it.
Somebody. She's
It
cracking
was
up over there.
ridiculous. It was huge. And then I turned the flashlight on. I'm like, how did this thing get in? Like, it would need a big entryway to get in. Nope. No holes in my thing. So I think that damn bug walked up to my tent and just took its little feeler arm, one of its 8, and unzipped the damn thing and came in. I mean, or it was in there all night. It was huge.
Did you get a tetanus shot?
Well, it didn't bite me. And I didn't kill it. It was too big to kill. I don't think I could have squashed it with my hand. That's how big it was.
So I interviewed a radio host from Richmond during the week last week who was on vacation in North Carolina, the Outer Banks. She was out a little too far with her 2 kids, and she felt something bump her leg. And guess what it was?
I don't want to.
It was a shark. She got bit by a shark.
way.
So she's freaking out because her 2 kids are next to her on the sandbar, and she knows she just got bit by a shark. What would you do?
I would scoop them up and run.
Right. Well, she said, I just got bit by a crab. Let's go back onto the beach. So she's going to
for
have
her.
a great, that'll be great content for Monday when she gets to show off her
I hope
the
she
shark
got a
bite.
tetanus
Yeah,
shot.
she did. That's what it made me remind. She went to the hospital. She got an x-ray. She got a tetanus shot, and she went back to the beach the next day. She didn't go in the water. But,
Those sharks, we've seen
it's
the
climate
videos.
change. It's climate change.
Oh, we've
all this
seen those
climate change
videos
going
of
on,
them
and the
getting
sharks they have nowhere to go. Did you see the video of the shark in Miami Beach swimming
That's what I'm
close to the
saying.
shore?
That's exactly what I was
Crazy.
just saying.
And then there was an elk next to you, and
There was a
we'll
lot
tell
of
that
elk,
next time.
a lot of elk and deer right there.
All right, everybody. It's been a fun day. We had lots of breaking news today, and we appreciate everybody watching. We appreciate everybody listening and all the donations. We didn't get any today, but that's all right. We appreciate John. We don't need donations. We're fine. And tomorrow we're going to post some new audio. You got to check that out. So watch on the Facebook page, subscribe on iTunes and Facebook, and post your reviews, the worst reviews you can. Post them up there. It doesn't matter to us. Post them up there. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter. We're up to 125 subscribers. Yes. We started with just a few listeners.
Yeah.
And now we have thousands, and we're on the Florida Podcast Network, and we're taking over the world, people. Beach Talk Radio is taking over the world.
All right. Get a grip.
All right. See y'all. Should I play the video again while we're
No.
going out? No?
Get a grip.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot, and have a nice weekend, and mow that damn lawn, will you?